Good morning, Soch 400. This is your introductory video for week 5. It's actually Tuesday morning, the day after Labor Day, that I'm recording this. I'm a bit bleary-eyed. I hope you all had a good weekend, as did I. But I want to keep ahead of you and get this video posted as soon as possible. So a couple of different things in week 5. First, you have your first audio responses due this week, and your Healthy People 2020 topic is due this week. So you actually have 3 assignments. The Healthy People 2020 topic should be pretty quick, so that's why I had 3 assignments this week. So before I forget, the Healthy People 2020 assignment is found in the Healthy People 2020 project folder. You have a reminder in your week 5 folder to do that, but all of the Healthy People project information is going to be held in that one common folder, so it's easy for you to find. So make sure you go over to that folder to complete that assignment. Our topic this week is introducing politics. After all, this is the social, economic, and political influences on healthcare. And I know for many Americans, including me, the word politics induces usually an eye roll or a sigh because political behavior in the United States is sometimes very intolerable, especially this time of the year when we are moving into a presidential election, and we've suffered through the primaries, but we have a long way to go. But I want you to think about politics in a much broader sense than just the political campaign for the presidential office, because that campaign and the presidency is actually just a very, 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 very tiny portion of politics. You need to think of politics in a much broader sense. The best definition of politics that is used is very simple. It's who gets what, when, and where. So who gets what? What does that mean? Our political structure is responsible for determining how resources are allocated. So, for example, how much money is going to be spent on education, or how much money will be spent on transportation and filling potholes in roads, how much money will be spent in healthcare, or on any number of things, defense, protection. So who gets what? And that's why we elect officials to the United States Congress, to the Illinois State General Assembly, why we elect people to serve as our councilmen or aldermen of our cities, and members of our boards of elections in counties. So those people are the ones who are making the decisions as to who gets what. Those decisions are then determined about who gets what when resources are allocated. For example, when is University Street going to get repaved, and how long will that take, and how much money will it cost? And where those allocated resources are going to take place. You could make the argument that there are many schools in our community that deserve more funding, many roads that deserve their potholes to be filled, many people that deserve health care. But how those needs are prioritized and assessed, that is under the direction of our governments. So that's why we're going to talk about politics in this class. So again, don't think about politics just as 2 people running for office and the mudslinging, because that's just a very, very tiny bit of politics. Think about who gets what, when, and where. So this week, I would suggest that maybe you start with the audio response assignment. That one might be a little bit better to set you up and get a better understanding about politics. So it's called Politics of Health, and it's based on the federalism reading in Marone and Elke. It's the 6th chapter. And federalism, and this is for you to define, but federalism talks about how the federal, the state, and local governments work together or not together. So you're going to have to learn a lot more about that. But this is a audio response, so this means you're doing a PowerPoint presentation rather than writing a paper. I think this first one might take you a little bit longer than writing a regular written response, but once you get these down, my students report that doing the audio responses are much faster than doing the written responses. So this is based on what hopefully you learned last week in the extra credit assignment of doing that extra credit PowerPoint. If you chose not to do that extra credit PowerPoint, go back to the week 4 folder and look through that assignment, and that will give you the outline on how you do a narrated PowerPoint. There are several YouTube videos. The first time I did it was about 2 years ago. I'm way older than the majority of you, and it took me about 10 minutes to figure it out. So it's really not that difficult to do, and I have faith in all of you that you will be able to do it. So your assignment is to put together a brief PowerPoint. You are presenting to an audience that doesn't know anything about healthcare or politics. So make sure that you use very clear definitions. You have your assignment has several components: define federalism, describe it, explain how federalism shapes the U.S. healthcare system, how federalism shapes the quality of health for every individual in this country, and then how understanding federalism will help you be a better healthcare provider. So I've given you an outline. The PowerPoint should be no more than 10 slides and should be no more than 12 minutes long. It might be a little bit longer. That's fine. I'm not going to penalize you, but I'm not expecting you to make a 20-minute presentation on this. So your slides should have minimal information. Don't just write a paper in your slides and then read them to me. I can read the slides, so you don't need to read them to me. This is a formal presentation, so use your formal presentation voice just like you would be up in front of the class. Your PowerPoint slide should have bullet points, and then your narration should fill in the details. There is an audio response grading rubric that is posted in the syllabus and other important stuff folder. So make sure you take a look at that grading rubric as well. And then your discussion board this week is called Political Obstacles. It's based on the 2 readings, Arenas in the Mosaic of Health Politics by Brown, which is a supplemental reading, and number 6, Federalism and Healthcare Policy in M&E. The Marone and Elke assignment. So this week I've posted the questions. You've got a lot of other work going on, so I just posted the questions for you. You are responsible for a minimum of 4 posts. Please have 2 of those done by Wednesday, the 16th, and the remaining 2 done by September 18th, which is on Sunday. Again, that's the minimum number of posts is 4. So please go above and beyond if you want to get those higher points. Again, do not start a new topic, a new thread. Just reply right into the thread that's already there. So do not create something new. Stay within the topics that are already presented. That way it's easy for students to go back and look to see what has already been said, and we can push the conversation forward. So again, as a reminder, make sure you go to Healthy People 2020 to get that topic assignment. Have a great week, and if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Thanks.